Refreshing. He's not live yet. Refreshing. He's not live yet. Refreshing. He's not live yet. Refreshing.
Live momentarily.
He's not
I'm
live
sure.
yet. Refreshing.
Oh my gosh.
Refreshing. Refreshing.
It is very
there
refreshing,
it goes,
isn't it?
How come 6 people? Oh, that's Book of Gaming. Let Retro Rewind Pod know you want to drop and collaborate.
You
All
are
right,
first,
stop.
Bobo.
Collaborate and listen. Congrats, Bobo. Corroborate.
Collaborate.
Collaborate. Yeah.
Oh, collaborate.
I like corroborate too.
Yeah.
Cooperate and listen.
Cooperate and
Stories
listen.
don't corroborate.
Or corroborate, yeah. You can
That's what I
corroborate.
was thinking. Corroborate. Hey,
Corroborate and listen.
That's what I said.
I am curious of one thing.
Yeah, did you want to try something before?
I was just going to
get
try
going?
a different browser. I don't think it's going to do anything, but you never know.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go for it.
I bet you it's all the same thing, and I'm probably just going to buy a cheap, crappy camera that can't go above 720.
That would do it.
That probably would do it.
Hey, Hafner, followed the Kickstarter. Oh, thank you, Hafner. Appreciate that. Bob says, yay, RRP. Hey, be Greer and Hafner. Yeah,
Welcome, everybody.
How many days until the wedding, Hafner? Like, are you in the 30s now?
Hey, Francisco.
Yes.
When your wife gets back, how about some names?
We all have names. You just don't, Paul. Let me fix you.
Wait, do I have a name?
You
Yes.
do, but
It's
it's
gonna do
weird.
exactly
It's
the
on the
same
stream.
thing, but
You do,
we'll
but
make it
not in
Ah.
the Video Ninja thing.
Oh, okay.
There you go, Paul.
Thank you very much. I
Yes,
don't see it
indeed.
yet, but maybe
It'll-
there's
it'll
lag.
come,
Oh, there
but-
it goes.
yeah.
All right.
I was told not to cross the streams. So
Yes,
I
well-
can't really see it.
Let's see. Hafner says Bobo, and then Bigger says hi. Yeah, guys, I'm curious. No one voted. None of our supporters voted on Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, so we don't have your guys' input. So hopefully we don't end in a tie. But when does it launch? I'm going to be announcing that probably Wednesday, Hafner,
Oh.
of when it will launch. But I'll say
Hashtag I don't know.
no. I know.
I know too, but
It's-
I'm sworn to secrecy.
Yes.
Actually, I know as well.
I'll say
because I have
uncomfortably
things
close
that need
to
to be
now.
finished by then.
We're at now. Go back to that. Just now. Are you guys excited for Spaceballs 2 at all? Or are you like, eh?
If anybody's seen the Spaceball animated series, like I have,
I
I am not looking forward.
Okay. I have not seen that.
Ugh, it's just been such a long time. It's
Well,
been
hello,
almost 40
fiancé.
years.
Yes, hi to your fiance, Hafner. Starts with a B. No, it's Elizabeth. Or is it
Do you
Barbara?
understand
No,
the
that's
words
not right.
that are coming out of my mouth?
I want to say her name's Elizabeth.
Okay, it's slightly
I
better
think.
using Chrome
Oh,
than it is
nobody
in
understand
Brave.
the words that are coming out of
Only
your
ever
mouth,
so
man.
slightly better.
Okay.
I still expect it to happen, but maybe
Right.
So I think it changed the link. So hold on.
Mary Beth, close.
Darn it. I don't think I was very close at all.
Well, you got
I
the
did
B in there.
Barbara and Elizabeth. Mary Beth is not close to those.
Elizabeth and Mary Beth. It ends in Beth. That's
But I didn't
similar.
say Beth.
You said Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah. I guess Beth isn't Elizabeth. Okay, never mind. I mean, yeah,
skunked again.
I got totally right. Completely.
I'm sorry. It sounds like you were deceptive.
flawless husband.
Yeah.
Except not.
Flawless defeat.
But you had the moral victory. Never forget
I
that.
always have the moral victory.
So you say. Because you
Okay.
had the actual victory.
I had the actual victory just plenty.
Do you though?
Yes. Right.
I like to believe.
So
Oh,
be it.
I didn't hit record on the DAR. Darn it. Okay,
No,
that's
not
okay.
yet.
But now I have it.
We haven't even
But
gone through the list.
yes, well, I was going through the list before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right,
you
guys. So we're going to do 5 seconds of silence where Paul will probably play a sound clip that will wreck the 5 seconds of silence. So once that's over, we'll do the actual 5 seconds of silence. Don't mute yourselves. I'm going to essentially try and record your floor noise so I can remove it in post-production. So we're going to start that. We're going to start that.
There's the weasel.
Now.
The audience is now deaf.
Oops, my bad.
Anytime you're ready.
I'm
I'm waiting on you.
waiting for you to be done.
Getting those rage comments up. Sorry. I need to. Sorry. No, seriously. I need to clear my throat. Not yet.
Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
guys.
Power Rangers, let's do it.
Yes. All right. Let's see. Yes. Be great. The search for more money is right. Havner says, I'm excited only because how many of the original actors are coming back. Yeah. For Spaceballs 2, that is a cause for excitement for me, for sure. She says I get half a point. All right. I'll take the half a point. All right, guys. Then I think thumbs up if you are ready to start the actual podcast. All right.
Oh.
There is no
I
bite me
suppose.
meter that's on the game streams, and it's not the bite me meter.
Oh,
It's
and I
the
misspelled
rage
bite
meter.
me. It's bit me meter.
Bit me meter. Yes.
It's past tense.
Yeah.
It's a past tense meter.
Charlie
Or-
bit me.
Or it's the bit meter.
Yeah.
Ashley, yeah, Bobo, that's something that's really frustrating for Ashley too. We
I
don't know
hate
what's
it.
going on with her
I
camera.
abhor it. Here. No one has to deal with it.
Well, I could get a picture of you, my love.
Fine.
Okay, so I'll do that. So
This just makes me so damn.
And
Yeah.
have her legs sticking
Well-
up out of the ground.
here's
Yes.
here's what
Yeah.
you can do, Ashley, just for
Don't
us,
tell Ashley the babysitter's dead.
just for us, like Paul Patch, if you want to keep her camera on for our sake. But for the stream, I'll just have a picture of you up.
That's fine.
I'm fine with either. It's up to you.
It just makes me so damn.
I don't know how to mess
Yeah.
with this computer nonsense. I'm just going to keep this. Like, what is this camera here? Oh, there it goes. And
Wow.
I got you. Okay.
Alternatively, I can undo this one, and you can have this one, my love, if you want to try that one again.
Try what?
This one that you let me borrow.
I don't think it's gonna make a darn bit of difference.
I don't think so
They're
either.
exact. This is a 920 and that's a 922.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they're gonna do anything different.
Probably not, which is dumb.
And then the Brio had the same problem too.
Lacquer.
Okay, give me a second.
So yeah, I think I just need to buy a really cheap piece of crap
I guess so.
thing.
Yeah.
with like a super duper. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet money if you replace the motherboard or the computer. It'd be,
Well,
it
okay,
would fix
yes,
it.
it'd be nice to have the funds for that, but we're not anywhere.
Well,
near
hey,
that.
I hear a Kickstarter is happening.
That's
Maybe
the-
you'll just
Yeah,
have so much
that's-
profit from that.
Neither-
Oh yeah, I mean sure.
Nobody does it with that.
Gonna be like flowing in cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
$3
not
billion
forget we
raised on
spent almost
Kickstarter?
$300 today getting our dryer fixed because it decided to stop working.
Ouch.
Yep. Okay, I want a picture of Ashley here. Ashley. Yeah,
Well,
that was
welcome
no
to
fun.
the stream, everybody. We're not actually doing a podcast. We're just chatting.
Something like that.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Oh my word. See all photos. Just want your profile picture here. There we go. We'll go with that one. You like this one, right, Ashley?
Yeah, whatever. Honestly, I just don't even care at this point.
Failure
Everything
is
just
not
makes me
an
mad.
option.
I get that. Okay, studio
Just super
mode.
duper angry.
Just like this movie.
Spoilers.
Whoa.
Save that for later.
Oh, that was way harsh.
It's going to be a browser source. Okay, and we're going to take this and put it here. I guess.
Oh, I am sorry, Doctor. We'll be having a good time.
Yes, the best time, in fact. All right, there we go. I want to put that below your nameplate. Okay, there we go. And we want this one. Go back to here.
Sad days.
All right. Yes, but now it's not going to flicker for the stream, so you don't have to worry about that, Ashley.
Yeah.
And I think
I'll still be upset here. Don't worry.
yes, keep your rage going. I don't need the rage meter. You guys need the rage meter.
I naturally have a rage meter. I live with my husband.
Oh my word. Now my son needs something. Hold on.
No. No kid. Sorry.
We should run. We should hide. We should kick their butts.
I love you. Okay. All right. Now let's see if we can actually start this thing. Start this shindig.
This jump.
We did the 5 seconds already, so we don't need to do that again. I have the trailer ready. We are streaming. I'm recording on here. So, excuse me. I think, Paul, whenever you... What is... Oh, that's that. Okay. Sorry, I just got distracted by, like, why am I seeing this? But I realized why I was seeing
Commissioner Gordon is calling. No.
Yes.
it. Was?
It's been a while since Brian Singer's called. That's for
Oh,
sure.
that's right.
Who am I? Who am I, Paul? Oh, I'm Joy Pantaleone. For some reason. Okay. Then I guess we'll start the actual podcast. Thank you all so much for being here, guys. Wait, Hafner says, show me the money. Yeah. Yours will be a project 120 for me. Oh, wow. That's awesome, Hafner. I have like Kickstarters you've done. But anyway, wait. Bob says, laundry money. It sounds like it, right? Pay me for a Kickstarter, guys. Oh, where'd that new computer you guys come from? I don't know.
Where's my board game?
All right. We'll start the actual show in 5, 4. Time for little boys to be in bed.
Can't you see him in the middle of a date?
And time for little trollops to go home and listen to episode 327 of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro systems online. Reflux capacitor fluxing. Scanning room space-time for. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. 1991. Rewinding in. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the babysitter, PaulJPowers.com Powers. Hey, Paul.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Are the dishes done, Paul?
What dishes?
You know.
Dishes are done, man.
And also for this discussion of the film, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, we welcome back aboard Administration Officer of the pod, Ashley Ruiz. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Of course. Glad to have you back. And in addition to Ashley, we're also happy to have back aboard Feelings Officer of the pod, Patrick Patchick. Say, Patch.
How's it going? Glad to be back, enjoying another movie involving babysitters.
Yes, but not anything else. No illegal substance. I mean, there was one, but not the same one from last time.
It's graduated from the 80s cocaine parties to 90s weed parties.
How does that graduation?
But they say this is the gateway drug, so it very well could lead to something else.
Yeah.
Go to your room, everybody. Just go to your room.
Wow. But now that you have a quick flyby of who we all are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
All right. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead was released April 12th, 2024. It's rated R and runs an hour and 39 minutes. It was directed by Wade Elaine Marcus and written by Chuck Hayward, Neil Lando, and Tara Eisen.
Paul, real
Yes.
quick. I just want to say, it's a little frustrating to me that I am only now catching that you're doing the wrong one.
You said Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
But not the one you're doing, the original.
Oh,
that could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Fine. I'll go back.
Good.
All right. My babysitter's a vampire. Oh, wait, that's undead. Sorry.
Gosh.
Hold on. Okay.
I've seen that.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, I saw the movie. My Babysitter's a Vampire. It was on Disney Channel. So totally did see
Yeah,
that.
it came out in 2010. It's rated TV PG.
Okay, no,
runs an
not
hour
that
and
one,
20
Paul.
Oh,
I've
sorry.
seen that.
Okay, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Thank you.
Was released June 7th, 1991. Runs an hour and 42 minutes and is rated PG-13. It was written by Neil Landau, Tara Eisen, who I said before, with lead stars being Christina Applegate, Joanna Cassidy, John Getz, Keith Coogan, David Duchovny, and a few others you may or may not recognize. And the music was composed by David
Newman!
Oh my God.
Hello, Newman.
All right, you ready for the box office trivia?
I am ready. Patch and Ashley, are you both ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. And everyone here live in chat, Hafner, Bobo, Big Greer, you guys are welcome to play as well. Let's go for it, Paul.
Okay, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead was made for about $10 million and earned over $25 million at the box office. So given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 1991? And we'll go for the top 91.
Oh, okay. Top 91. Bobo coming in hot in chat with 17. Let's go with Ashley, though. What is your guess?
I'm going to guess 86. Because
86.
from what
Wow.
I understand of this movie, it did not do that great
All right.
in its initial run.
Okay.
So let's go with 86. Good old year of Ashley's birth.
Nice. B. Greer is close to you there with 75. Patch, what is your guess?
I'm going to go the Price is Right methodology, and I'm going to go $1. Wait. Let's go 91. Sorry.
Wow.
Dang, ye of little faith. And I thought I had such very little faith.
91. Wow. Okay. I'm going to be more generous, guys. And I'm going to go sort of, let's see, what's half of 91? That's 40, approximately 46. So we'll go with
45.5.
46.
All right.
All right, Paul, where did it actually end up?
Well, according to the-numbers.com, it came in right at 52.
What?
Ah.
So I think that means I win.
Good job, Captain.
And it's
Yeah.
not just the moral victory for once.
Ew.
I love you too.
Very, very much so. But thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert. Alert. Target located. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
They'll definitely call Mom.
Don't tell Mom the babysitter's dead. Rock and roll! Now, Christina Applegate spends the summer
Don't forget to do the dishes, okay?
with no nagging, no curfews, no rules.
Dishes are done, man.
Don't tell Mom the babysitter's dead. Rated PG-13. Now playing at a theater near you.
Yes, indeed. Now playing at a theater near you, except I don't remember it being in the theaters. But you know what? My memories might be deceptive. And let's find out how all our memories went when it comes to Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead with our memory mind melt synopsis of this film. Some of the kids from Adventures in Babysitting still need to be babysat, even though they're in college. Cue Mrs. Sturrack's Medicine for a Good Life. TV rots your brains. But Kelly Bundy would rather live in a van down by the river, so she kills the babysitter and gets her siblings to hide the crime. So now Christina Applegate has to get a job. Clown dog summer jobs are the best jobs. But instead, she becomes vice president of a fashion brand without being married with children. And when mom leaves for the summer, you get a new pool. Okay? Until parents come back and ruin everything, including the ending of this movie. Who's the bad mom now? Wow. Well, yeah, there were certainly plenty of things in those memories that were decepted.
What are you talking about? That was all perfect.
She was not the vice president. She was the executive assistant to the vice president, something like that.
Executive administrative assistant was the actual
That's
title.
it. Yes. Thank you, Ashley. Yes. So, it'll be interesting.
Edna mode.
Yeah, Edna mode. What did I just do?
Mode.
What did you do?
What did you mean?
What did?
Oh. Because the memory mind meld was right up against the next line that I read for this script that we don't have. There's no script here. It threw me. So
okay, that's fine.
All right, guys. Based on those memories, those deceptive memories, what range did they lead you to predict for this film?
Sorry, my thing crashed. Give me a second.
Okay, no
Edna mode.
Edna mode. More Edna modes.
Yeah, all the Edna modes because everything is being stupid.
Edna mode.
Really, Paul?
Apparently so.
Yeah, I apparently have a limitation. It won't do like Edna mode. It just, yeah.
You'd really like that, wouldn't you?
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
And call me when you get back, darling. I enjoy our visits.
You know what's frustrating? So I had my soundboard. I know, like, often when I'll hit the start, it takes a while to actually kick in, and or the front sound clip. So I pushed it already, so it was in the RAM or wherever the Stream Deck. But then I reset the computer, so I lost that. So we had the same issue.
I was wondering why I could hear the theme song, but not the intro to the
because that becomes a video, whereas the other one's still just an audio clip that plays.
Yeah, and we're boring, Patch. Sorry.
I was coming in hot from Kansas City. I'm sleepy, but I'm pulling through. It's good stuff.
Yeah, geez, Paul.
That's how I feel.
Oh yeah.
Sunday, waking up before 5 a.m.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Wake up.
Let me know when you're. Let us know when you're ready, Ashley.
Get on with it. Yes,
Okay.
get on with it.
Oh, good, I guess.
Okay. And if you're noticing it's not flickering anymore, I can switch it so that
it's just gonna keep doing what it's gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
as
right.
soon as you switch it, it'll start flickering.
Right?
again.
Yeah, so let's not taunt it.
Okay.
It taunts me.
Like a techno song. Like that.
All right, here we go, guys. Are you
Tasks me.
getting back to it?
Yes.
So based on those memories, as flawed as they were, because they are so flawed, what range did they lead you to predict for this film before you rewatched it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's begin with Ashley. What was your prediction for Don't Tell Mom, The Babysitter's Dead?
Okay. Well, apparently at one point in time I did see this movie, but seeing that I have no memories of it, it leads me to believe that apparently my past self didn't like it enough, and so it erased my memory of it, much like when I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh.
But from what I understand, this movie is considered a cult classic, so I didn't want to basically go wah wah on everybody. So based on that, I'm just assuming it's going to be nostalgic.
Okay. Nostalgic for Ashley. Patch,
This was yeah. Were you asking me a question?
Yes,
go to
I was gonna
room.
ask you what your prediction was.
Well, I was going to chime in. I just got ahead of the request. This was a movie that came on TBS or TNT or one of the Turner-owned stations at the
It
time.
was an HBO movie. It's probably on HBO.
But they can lease it out to others.
Licensing
I got
rights.
I mean, I guess that's true. Continue, Patch.
I wasn't rich enough to have HBO at the time, so I settled for cable. And, yeah. So, sad trombone and all, I remember this fondly at home watching it during the summers and whenever it came on. So for me, it was definitely in the nostalgic range. That's what I predicted. Yeah.
All right. Oh, and I neglected to ask, when was the first time you remember watching this? I know, Ashley, you said you don't have you watched it, but you don't have a memory of it.
It was in the spring of 2006.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a sorority. We watched it at the sorority house.
It was a cold, wintry night.
No, it was actually
In the sorority house.
in the springtime. It was a couple weeks after I finished completing pledging a sorority, and we were new members of of the Phi Sigma Sigma sorority in SUNY Cortland in upstate New York. But no, I remember it was one of the first things that we did, but apparently I don't remember.
Required watching on how to get rid of a dead body.
pretty much. Yeah, no, I don't know. But
so, a quick tangent. This is so dumb. But there's this movie that Riff Tracks has done, which will come on like in Twitch or Pluto, called Sisters of Death.
Oh, Lord.
And it begins with the sorority is pledging, and one of them loads a bullet into something that it's not supposed to have a bullet, and they shoot one of the pledges, and then they have to they let the police know and everything, but it's just then they get notes later on in life. It's almost like I Know What You Did Last Summer type of thing, where they get called to this house and they don't know why. And so,
boy, I did watch the wrong movie. Sorry. What's this one called?
My gracious husband,
sorry.
that was so
I know,
loud.
it was so loud. I was going to choke or I was going to guffaw. So I chose the guffaw. So
seems like you did a little bit of both.
Regardless, so that's just funny that you guys were saying sorority from Ashley and then High in the Body. All that. Anyway, all that has nothing to do with Paul's prediction. What would that be, Paul?
I don't remember seeing this in the theaters. I may have, I just don't remember. But I do remember seeing it on TV, like Patch. I don't think we had HBO either, but I do remember seeing it playing a lot, and I think we were taped it on VHS. But I haven't seen it in a while. I remember liking it back then. So when I went to rewatch it a few days ago, I was shocked that of all my movie / TV collection, I literally have thousands of titles, and it wasn't in there.
Oh, really?
So I was a little disappointed, but I'll still predict nostalgic.
Nostalgic, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna complete the circuit, guys, because I too predicted nostalgic. I saw this as a kid. It was probably similar to Patch on TBS or TNT or one of those things, or when we had the free HBO thing
for the weekend with the phone number at the bottom.
Oh,
Exactly.
I remember that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The previews
Yes.
that would come on annually.
Exactly.
Did that with Disney Channel.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe I did see it on HBO because of that.
Possible.
B. Greer also says, it was on HBO a lot in the 90s. Yes, HBO Freeview, B. Greer. Paul, Patch, I think I skipped over you accidentally. When did you first see this? Do you recall?
Not gonna answer because you skipped over me. Forget it. No comment.
Do
I'm just
better
kidding.
times,
It was probably it was probably freshman year of high school.
Okay.
I hadn't quite ventured out into the world of being social quite yet. So my Friday nights were renting movies, playing video games, and camping out of my parents' hide-a-bed in our den. And I think that came on over the weekend at some point.
Okay.
And I remember watching it at home my freshman year.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, it'll be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's get into things we liked most about this film. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Alice, spin up our
Best bits.
Our best bits section. So, and I'm going to start with Ashley one more time. What is one thing you liked about this movie?
One thing that this movie did right was the world that it built. The unique environment of all the different landmarks that happened in this movie. The unique environment of the kids, the Crandall household, the offices of GAW, and even a place like Clown Dog. I just thought it was so cool how they used these physical locations and they kind of took on an identity all of their own. So I thought that was incredibly well done.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Not so much so that made my like list, but Patch, were the locations or something about the production make your like list, or was it something else?
It's tangentially related to that.
Okay.
Ooh, so is mine.
Yeah.
I like that word. I assume I know what it means, but continue.
I come on the show to give you 3-syllable words to use in your vocabulary for future
Nice.
use. So,
I would not expect that
I don't
from
know
our feeling officer, but please continue.
My wallet's kind of light for all these $5 words, but I'll see what I can do.
Emotional 4.
Nice.
4 syllables. Well, related to that, I really enjoyed the side characters. Apart from the Crandall family, you've got Gus, the sleaze. You've got Bruce, played by David Duchovny, with the slick back hair and the terribly awesome outfits. And then Carolyn, who's like this co-conspirator with them.
The receptionist.
The receptionist. You've got Kathy, the dedicated one. They're all like filling these roles for Sue Ellen and her family in so many different ways. But the highlight for me is Josh Charles, who plays the love interest. He's so much fun in this.
Really?
I really
is he the corn dog guy or the clown dog guy?
Clown dog delivery driver.
Yeah.
So I have a history. Go ahead.
I was about to say, Francisco, you're gonna love him because he's also in our next movie review after this.
I already told him that.
Yes.
I've seen Dead Poets Society.
All right, continue, Patch, please.
So he plays Brian in this, and yes, Dead Poets Society. That's where I really got to know him. He's also in an Aaron Sorkin comedy drama sitcom called Sports Night, in which he's actually shares screen time with Carolyn, the actress that plays Carolyn. She's actually, spoiler alert, his therapist in that show at one point. It's just really kind of cool. In fact, the IMDb trivia, I put that trivia in there, so I'm glad I'm gonna take credit for that. To go and read the...
Wait,
anyway,
so Carolyn, was that his sister in this movie?
Yes.
The
and
receptionist.
That's what I thought was interesting. Yeah. His sister in this movie plays his therapist in Sports Night at one point.
That's cool.
Funny.
But I really dig his baby faceness, his naivety throughout the whole thing. I mean, there are times when it's unbelievable, and there are other things that I'll kind of relate to that later on. But I really loved how him and Sue Ellen, they have those times where like, it's a great moment, and it's cheesy and corny and everything, but it's absolutely.
He had good moments with Swell, not Sue Ellen, just to make.
Sorry, Swell. Good call there. Yeah, and that relates to something else I'll talk about.
Yeah,
so I'm glad you brought that up, Paul. But I love the toy store scene where they're bouncing around.
Yes, Toys R Us, right? It looked like Toys R Us.
I thought it was a Toys R Us as well.
It was reminiscent of it.
Yeah.
KB Toys. What are you talking about?
No, those aisles were too wide and vast for KBs.
KB Toys was way more tight than that.
Yeah,
because they usually operated at a much smaller footprint.
Yeah, usually in
the mall.
Yeah.
But overall, he really does hit the notes for me as a great kind of early 90s love interest. Not too deep.
Yeah.
I mean, for a movie like this, kind of really sets the tone. And I really enjoyed watching him, as well as these other characters that sort of came around and participated in this absurd plot that is really entertaining. So yeah, I love the side characters.
I will just real quick, because you pretty much took one of my likes right there. I'll just say,
dang it.
Yes. Before we get to Paul and how it's tangentially related to yours and Ashley's, I do want to say, I thought that Sue Ellen and Brian's romance, that was just really sweet. Lots of wonderful things about it, except in the end, I hated, but we're not going to talk about that right now. I did like the build of their romance, just the sweetness to it. So, Paul, you said your first like was tangentially related to the production in some way. Tell us about that.
Yeah. It was actually kind of like the side characters and the real world building kind of a thing. What actually made me laugh, and this should have been unbelievable, but the fact that they dropped the dead babysitter at the crematorium.
I thought they did at the morgue.
I thought it said crematorium. Anyway, the dead place where they buried her, instead of reporting it to the police and everything. Sounds so far-fetched, but as someone who's like had several jobs and experienced incompetence amongst employees, I could totally see that actually happening in the real world. So I thought, as off as that is, it just made me chuckle. Like, yeah, that might actually happen, especially back in the days when they didn't have cameras in front of like all the businesses and back then.
And especially if they're like, they see she's stacked with cash, and they're like, they have sticky fingers, then it's like, you don't want to say anything, otherwise.
A lot more nefarious stuff people got away with back in the day, I think, because.
I mean, look at these kids and their petty cat. Let me not get ahead of myself.
Yeah, before forensics.
Let's go back to Ashley. Why don't you fingerprint us some likes? I don't know. I tried to work forensics in there. It backfired horribly. Ashley, what?
Wow.
Yeah, so I know we've talked a little bit about how we enjoyed some of the supporting characters at varying different lengths and whatnot. And I actually liked a completely different supporting character who didn't really get a lot of screen time.
Okay.
I was really enchanted with the office worker Kathy, who was another assistant over in sales.
I was hoping you were going to say the dog Elvis, because he was so cute.
He was very cute. He was very cute. But no, I was really enchanted by Kathy just because she just wanted to help, and she was way more qualified than Swell ever could have been. And she didn't, she wasn't catty. She wasn't trying to get at anybody like Carolyn was. She just seemed like a genuinely sweet person. And part of me just really wanted to see more of her in this movie. And I wanted at the ending for her to get the job working with Rose, because she would have been so good.
Right.
And she has such a good heart. And I'm like, as a former executive assistant, my gosh, she was just so sweet and so wonderful, and she was everything that I would have hoped to have been when I was one. I liked her, and I liked Brian too, but so many of these supporting characters, I have other things to say later, but those two, Brian was great, Kathy was great, the dog was great. I don't have such great things to say about other people, but we'll wait till later.
Yeah.
Going back to Kathy, Patch, were you on our review of the shrinking kids? Honey, I
Shrunk the Kids. Yeah.
So, and was it you? One of the characters you didn't like was like the neighbors that came by and visited and said, "Hey, that means flying." It kind of took it was like unnecessary. Am I remembering that right?
I think so. Yeah, it was an unnecessary subplot.
Yeah, well,
it just didn't really.
That actress who played Kathy is the wife there.
Yes, it is. Yes. Really? Oh, yeah, because they go on. They try to go on vacation, but they come back. It's just dumb. No, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
liked it. Cool.
But I absolutely agree. Kathy, I listed her as the dedicated one.
Yeah.
She. And the whole time I'm like, yes, you absolutely deserve the job that you don't have right now.
Right?
She reminds me of Penny in the Inspector Gadget cartoon series.
Yes.
And I kept getting so mad at the end of each episode. I'm like, Penny solved the problem. You're taking credit for it.
Right?
Like, that's how I felt about Kathy. I was like, she did this.
I'll have more to say on that later, Patch, but you're going in a direction that I will go down further in the dislike section.
Yeah, and Patch, you're preaching to the one-man choir of Francisco who agrees with you on Penny.
Yeah, because Inspector Gadget is like the worst cartoon. It's not the worst cartoon, but it's horrible. Why would I want to watch someone?
I like that theme song. I can't help
That's fine, and I like Jason the World Warriors theme song.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
But yeah, just Penny. It should be called the Penny and Brain Show or something. I just hate that.
Brain's better.
Francisco's fabulous.
Exactly, it's fabulous.
But
don't want Elmira Penny in the Brain. Right?
That was so awful when they did that. Let's not go down that road.
Let's go down the road of Patch's next like.
I just want to call out the little touches that this movie brings to the table. Francisco, you and I, when we talk on my podcast and original series, the benefit of going through a TV show episode by episode is we can call out the little things that are brought up as opposed to just kind of glossing over things. And there's so many things that just amplify the enjoyment of the movie. Like when Kenny starts losing his breath going up the stairs near the beginning when he's carrying the plant up, because you know that he's completely out of shape and high and that kind of stuff. Sue Ellen using cleaning gloves to carry the body. Nice old lady inside died of natural causes. When Sue Ellen gets these flowers from Gus before she realizes it's him, the Clown Dog Circus music plays in the background before it switches back to dramatic music. Again, just little things like that. My favorite thing was during the party, some of the hors d'oeuvres were served on a checkerboard, like the last thing that was brought out. And it's things like that you don't notice because, you know, you're just watching a movie like this and it doesn't have a lot of substance to it. But if you watched it enough times, and this is probably why it's become a cult classic, is because it's those little things that I think the production team, the writing team all bring to say, hey, let's throw this in here and see if somebody notices, or hey, this might be fun to add. But it doesn't distract.
Yeah.
And in some ways it might amplify a little bit. And I really appreciate when a creative team can do that, because it's just like putting your little mark there without taking away from the overall tone or whatever of a story like that. So I really enjoyed those things.
I agree. It brings it up to another level almost.
Yeah.
Or it goes down deeper another. Now I don't know,
It
but I
gives
agree.
it more depth than what's just on
beyond
the
the surface.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, case in point, when Sue Ellen at the beginning, she's like she's marking through some of the fashion magazine stuff as she's talking on the phone. It just kind of foreshadows, oh yeah, she's got this ability to kind of design off the cuff and look at things and put things together in terms of outfits, like when she's getting ready for the interview, those types of things that lend themselves to the overall plot and how she's able to sort of save the day by creating these brand new uniforms. Hints early on, it foreshadows later. Just stuff like that, I think, is lost in a movie that otherwise would feel a little bit ridiculous. But I can really appreciate those types of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul, why don't you share with us something you appreciated?
As everyone was saying before, I appreciate the cast. I thought it was a good cast. There were several characters, even the side characters. Like we've already said, we enjoyed them from other stuff.
Yeah.
So it was fun to revisit and watch. Oh, this is from this person's from this person. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And seeing them act. Yeah. So the cast.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of the cast, one of my next like and also my classic maker have to do with the cast. But I really
But not the little boy's cast when he fell off the roof.
No. So Keith Coogan, who
yes, is Todd or Copper? I forget which one.
Is what?
He's either Todd or Copper, along with Donatello.
Okay.
From Fox and the Hound.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know. I was getting very
along with Corey Feldman. Sorry. Anyway.
Anyway, I disliked him so much in this movie, but I really appreciate his arc the most. I feel like he grew the most, even more than Swell's Christina Applegate's character. I love that he sees this one random show of Julia Childs making a cake, and that seems to just launch him on the trajectory of like, you know what? Let me try making waffles. Let me try he keeps upping his skills, and I feel like he's becomes more and more responsible, especially after his brother falls off the ledge. He's like,
aha, the cast. You do like the cast.
I liked him. I liked that arc of his. But there's so much of them during for the first half of the movie. I really don't like his character at all.
Was that?
Yeah, Walter is the youngest.
Walter's cast. You do like Walter's cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was my next So now let's get into our classic makers, the things we liked most about Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Oh, okay. There aren't any? Well, then we can continue on
to
our tragic makers, because there's probably just... No, I'm kidding, guys.
You're getting way ahead.
I'm not foreshadowing.
You're trying to make up for all the Edna modes?
The fast forward.
Go!
Oh my.
Okay. Back to now. Let's go. Exactly. Ashley, give us your classic maker, the thing you liked most about this film.
Well, suspiciously enough, my classic maker was Your Last Like.
Oh.
I absolutely adored Kenny's transformation from being this lackluster punk who's doing nothing and doing the dishes by literally shooting it with a 22 with his low life friends to not paying attention to his younger siblings and having one fall off the roof and break his leg to really being inspired by something as simple as just a Belgian waffle recipe.
Yeah.
And then coming together at the end with his whole entire family. And you can see it's not just changes in behavior, he's changing his appearance. He's wanting to apply himself. And the conversation he has at the end with his friends, he's like saying, I'm done with just slacking, and I'm going to go to class more, and I'm going to do this. And it's just, wow, he absolutely has way more of a transformation than his eldest sibling does. Because he's going from like 0 to 180. She just became more confident in who she was, and she had a trajectory.
Yes.
He was coming from literally nothing, from being like just the most infuriating character in this movie to being, honestly, for me, the most likable character at the very, very end. Because I love a good redemption story.
Yes.
It is one of my favorite movie tropes, movie arcs, if you will. I love it. And I loved from where he started to where he ended up, because he just ended up being so good after literally hitting rock bottom when his little brother fell off the roof.
Yes.
And that was his like literal come to Jesus moment. He's like, I gotta get better.
I don't think it was a literal come to Jesus moment.
I know, but figuratively come to Jesus moment, and it was just wild to see that transformation. It wasn't something that I was expecting, but I was really grateful for it.
So you could say he hit rock bottom when his brother hit the bottom rock.
Yes.
You can laugh now, guys.
Cast him in a different direction. There you go.
It cast him in a different direction. I like that. That was good.
There you go.
Well, yeah, but I had the setup. I got the layup to help.
Moral victory, husband. Moral victory.
Patch, what's your classic maker? As I just want back tears.
Before I give my classic maker, I just want to point out, as I was on this show for a movie that had the word babysitter in it, it also had the actor in that same movie.
It did.
Playing
Babysitting, not babysitter, but
babysitting. Yeah, there's babysitting involved or not involved.
Yes, Keith Coogan being babysat. Yes,
and some shenanigans going on.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just around Chicago instead of LA, I think is where they were.
I think this is supposed to be LA. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, what makes a movie that is kind of light on the plot, you got to be heavy on the one-liners, and this was just so full of them. And they came from, I mean, Kenny and his boys probably had the highlight reel for me. I loved so many of them, but there were other characters that you kind of fly by them because they're a little bit subtle based on when you watch the movie.
Yeah.
But I love things like, I think it was the clown dog manager like, next you get to scrape the spitballs off the drive-through window with a really fun squeegee. That would have made me want to throat punch that guy. Yeah, Mr. Egg. Yeah. And then Brian's sister with her overemphasis on the words like, you're supposed to go down to personnel on the first floor. There's a really big sign that says personnel. And just, these are things I remember watching it over and over again. But of course, stuff from the trailer, like dishes are done, man.
Yes.
And it's just very fun.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have others that just really stand out that are not so obvious. Like when I think of Gus now, I think, wow, that's not a good guy to really celebrate. And he goes, the rosemary chicken is delicious here, very tender. And it just gives me creep vibes, but I also laugh because it's so over the top. And I think that's what makes a lot of these characters and what they say entertaining, because these are things that you would maybe expect from some people, but not a normal person. And so the accentuation and the embellishment of these characters is only like amplified by their one-liners. And I think for me, that's what I remember most about this movie is those little one-liners, the ones that are more obvious, like park it yourself, Metallica breath, or other things like David Duchovny goes, hey, who are you? Where's the other broad? And he makes kind of a weird gesture with his hands. I'm like, okay, whoa, didn't pick that up at like 13 years old, but apparently I can, I have a little bit more sense about me. So as awkward as they are, those are the things that, for the most part, are a lot more memorable for me in my classic maker.
Okay, very, very good. Paul, why don't you quote us your classic maker?
Again, well, okay. I like the premise, the story premise, the story of rising up and taking responsibility. And Christina Applegate's character does that throughout the film, I think. But right on what you said, Francisco, and what Ashley said, even though it came much later in the film, I think Kenny's arc was the best one that was shown that way. I don't know, maybe it has to do with his cut hair and his smile. I think really adds to it.
Such a change in demeanor.
Right. I just thought his arc was the best thing about this movie.
Absolutely. Except for my classic maker, and that be I don't know what it was, but the Swell's boss Rose was just so sweet, and like felt like, other than her not hiring, what was her name, Ashley, the one you really liked? Kathy. Other than not hiring Kathy and still wanting Swell to be working for her even after the confession and all that, I just liked her character so much. I hate that she was so like infatuated with Gus,
Being
but I'm
too
glad.
timed by him.
Yeah, but I'm glad she like ended it at the end. And
Well, she hadn't found Eddie Valiant yet. That's why.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay.
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
She was
But what does that have to do with Eddie Valiant?
because she was the girlfriend of Eddie Valiant in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, you're right. She was. I didn't realize that.
You probably didn't realize she was also in Blade Runner, another movie we covered.
What?
But that's
Who is?
neither here
Don't tell
nor
me
there.
she's Sean Young.
No, she's not Sean Young.
Okay, well, God. Who is she in Blade Runner then?
one of the hybrid people.
Okay.
Hybrid people.
Whatever they're called. I'm sorry. What are they called? Not androids, but
Yeah, where are they called?
Oh, I see.
No
The
context.
Daryl Hannahs is what I call them.
The Daryl.
yeah.
I have zero
the
context.
replicants.
Yeah, maybe
Replicants.
that's what
I think that's it. Yeah, I
Okay,
think that's
okay.
it.
I was about to say Reploids, but that's Mega Man X.
That is next.
All right, so she was my favorite. I thought she was just sweet, and I don't know. There's just something about her that was really
endearing.
Yeah. So that was my classic maker. And quick bonus, I do want to say I really liked I felt like it didn't match this movie, but for what it was, I really liked the synth soundtrack. So I just
Oh yeah, especially in that when they had the montage
Don't do it, Paul.
came up.
Don't
and,
do
you
it.
Missed opportunity for this to be on the soundtrack.
Yeah, they had some pretty good songs in the soundtrack. Although some of them were a little too loud, I couldn't hear what they were saying.
Yes, exactly. That's why us old people use the subtitles. But lots of things, well, some things to like about this movie, but you know what? There's probably other things we didn't like so much. So let's get into our. Oh, wait. There's something else. I forgot. I wanted to say this real quick, guys.
Forget too many things.
I know. I forget a lot of things.
A great many things.
But I want to make sure I didn't. I want to make sure I didn't forget. Junkyard Juggernauts. The king and queen have disappeared. A warlord is enslaving the land, and the people's only hope is you and the junkyard. Junkyard Juggernauts is a fantasy adventure board game of mechs and tactical combat and pixel arts that harkens to Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI. This 1 to 4 player game is designed by Francisco Ruiz. Hey, that's me! And you will play as a Mageneer, drafting cards to build the arms and legs of a magic-fueled mech, aka a Juggernaut, before taking on the warlord. The Kickstarter pre-launch page for the game is live with the campaign starting very soon. In fact, when you're listening to this, it may be already out, so we'll see.
Or over, depending on when you listen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what's this podcast from 2025? Here I am in 2030. Oh, listen to this. Oh man, I missed the Kickstarter.
But go to junkyardjuggernauts.com anyway.
Go to junkyardjuggernauts.com. Sign up for the newsletter to not miss any of the news about it.
How could
That's
I
great,
lose?
Francisco. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, Paul.
But we're talking about Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. So what is this? Why is this a like for the movie Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
It's really not. It's just something I wanted to mention because I wanted to shield my own stuff.
Oh, okay. It's your podcast. I get it.
It's our podcast, Paul, but fine.
Oh. Well, you're the captain.
That's right. You hear that, Ashley? I'm the captain.
Now look at me. I'm the captain. Now I'll give it over to Patch.
Oh my gosh, this is not musical captain chairs.
I am the captain. No?
Gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, fine. All right, fine.
I don't have the authority to bestow that on you.
Let's get back to Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead with some trivia.
Okay, that would be much better.
All right. So did you all realize Keith Coogan, who we were just talking about now as one of our favorites, was told he was too old to play 15-year-old Kenny. He was 20, which was 22 months older than his co-star, Christina Applegate.
Yeah.
He came back to the audition in stoner apparel and a wig and got the part.
Good for him.
Indeed. With that in mind, my question to you all is, what is something you enjoy as an adult that most people would say you are too old for? So let's start with Paul.
This just reminds me because maybe I have PTSD or PS, whatever that is. But I was walking. This was a few years ago. I was walking through the grocery store, had a T-shirt on with Mario on it, jumping. It said like something power or something like. And 6-year-old walks by with his mom, and he looks at my shirt with a smile and a confused look, and points at me and tells his mom, "He's too old to be wearing that." So, even 6-year-olds know I don't dress properly for an adult. I'm too old for that.
Okay, all right. So wearing Mario graphic tees. All right, fair. Ashley, how about you?
I don't know. I'm not that old, so I don't know that I'm too old for anything just yet. I'm not even 40 yet. But
Good answer.
Just to talk about the things that maybe people might say is maybe I'm too old to collect all the Pushins, all the little figurines, all the little stuffed animals. I don't even care because I love them so incredibly much, and they're so cute, and they just spark such joy. And I don't know, my favorite figurine is a dumpster fire. It's literally a cat dumpster with a fire. But Pusheen just brightens my day, and it's just such a simple little thing, and I get to share it with our kids. It's just been such a sweet thing. And you know what? Even though I'm going to be 40 next year, I'm not too old for it. I don't care if anyone tells me that I am, because I don't care.
That dumpster's so hot right now.
It's the new hotness.
It's the new hotness. Great.
So
I like that.
I'm going to end the mode real quick. So what's funny is, Ashley, it wasn't doing this until just now, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was, no, don't do anything. Because I was going to show your video on, since you were showing the Pushies, I was going to show on Video Ninja. And as soon as I put it in there, it started doing that.
Of course it did.
So there's something with, I don't think it's
Video
your
Ninja.
camera or your computer. It's something with this connection of Video Ninja. So I'm going to turn that off. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
That
I noticed
caused
it
that.
wasn't doing anything, so I don't know. Maybe you can take a picture of the Pushins, and I can show my little Pushinosaurus. And here, the dumpster fire is the best thing ever because it's just like, look at that.
I'm not sure how we took a picture of that.
I don't know.
Screen capture. Control screen capture.
So people can see what I'm talking about.
All right, hold on.
Ashley loves herself some Pushin.
Hold the smile.
I'm getting it. Hold on.
Hold
Give
the
me a
smile.
second.
All right.
It's
And while
gonna
people are waiting, let's have some intermission music.
Okay, I got it. I'll post this in the Discord.
Oh, I thought you were going to replace her photo online.
You could.
Oh,
you could totally
what I thought
replace
you
my
were
photo
That's a
with
good
that.
idea. Yeah, why don't I do that?
Do something fun.
Yes. So hold on, I just need to do that now.
Love all the little distractions.
Exactly.
Do you think my camera just hates this?
I think some with Video Ninja, it doesn't want to play nice with it. I think that's what it is. And I don't know what that would be. I'll have to research it some.
I don't know.
But bravo for narrowing that down.
Yeah.
Support for the Win, starring Francisco.
But hey, Pusheen is awesome. I guess if you're me, it's awesome.
All right.
There we
You
go.
have this little guy.
Ooh, that's translucent
It
Pusheen.
is. And then we got a little mermaid.
That's fun.
And then many, many, many more. I think we have
All right.
close to 30 in this house.
Okay, I think. Dang it! I have your name blocked. So hold on. Don't start the music again, Paul. We don't need it.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
All right. Okay, we're back.
Are you so sure?
Yes. I'm sure.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Pushin, you just finished yours, Ashley.
Yes.
Okay. And that leaves Patch. How about you, Patch? What's something that you think you're not too old for, but other people might?
Well, my wife would say it's refined sugar.
I get that.
and my body tells me a few times a week that it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is something that I'm exploring these days, and sometimes to a fault. But no, I think for me, exactly, this is probably something that is more I guess, more culturally appropriate. It's I've gotten into Lego several years ago.
Oh, yeah.
My best friend Aaron bought me a Dom's Charger from the Fast and the Furious, and I kind of got hooked on these adult builds because that's, Lego recognizes that, Lego's for everybody that wants to be a part of the thing. And so
unless you're over 99 years old,
apparently, so
scratch,
yeah,
you could get Lego.
exactly. So my latest build is behind me here. It's the lunar lander from Apollo.
Cool.
Oh,
I built that over Memorial Day weekend, and I've been a fan. It can be an expensive hobby, so I have to vary my purchases here and there.
Yeah.
But I have a few saved up that when there's a long hiatus, like on vacation or something, or
I have a pro tip for you, Patch.
What's that?
Hire a babysitter, and when she dies, you take all the money she has.
As long as I leave a nice headstone that says "nice old lady who left me the money," right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hope she leaves me a Studebaker too. That'd be great.
Wow.
So yeah, it's Lego for me, even though it's a little bit, it's hip to be a Lego guy, but I think for a lot of people are like, why do you do that? Because I enjoy building with my hands, and it's I follow instructions. So it's like IKEA. There's no words, but so there's the challenge in it.
Exactly.
Itself.
Yes.
But yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
All right, great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
And since we have extra time, is there anything that bothers you, or that you feel that you're too old, you're not too old for?
Well, there's lots of things that bother me, like
claiming
claiming that My Python
Tori?
Like Rails a movie, and
Or Tori.
What do you think
What
do you think you're not too old for, but other people do?
Probably. I mean, this is like similar to Patch. That I feel like we're past the Rubicon of where most people understand that this isn't too old, but playing video games, I think just enjoying video games and playing those. I'd like to play them more than I do, but I'd say that's probably it.
Well, you'd have more time if you were
Okay.
a board game.
Indeed. Okay.
All right.
So maybe you will in the future.
Exactly.
And great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you.
Now that we've all had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, the Rad Rewinders, had about Don't Tell Mom, the Babysitter's Dead.
And we only had one this time from Jeremy Shields. He says, I still quote the dishes are done, man, after I start the dishwasher. Nice.
Yes, it's so good.
That's a good time to do it, Jeremy. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jeremy, for sharing your memory. And it doesn't really lead us into the dislike section, except for maybe we didn't get many memories. Maybe there wasn't really a lot for people to say about this film. So let's get into our dislike section for Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Worst woos.
And let's begin. Let's begin with me. And I forget who it was, Paul who mentioned it, or maybe it was a Patch, but I thought Gus was so gross, such a gross lech. I didn't like. Yes, he was over the top, but uncomfortably so, in my opinion.
And creepy.
But he was written that way on purpose.
Okay, then I guess the actor did a good job, but that doesn't mean I like the character any. And it's like I don't think
didn't
you really,
like watching it.
Yes, and I don't think you needed him in the movie so much. It wasn't like some great thing hinged on him being there, other than like eventually Rose to realize she's better off without him. I don't know. I feel like you could have had. It would have been better if there was a sympathetic romantic interest that maybe, I don't know, Swell was into, but he was trying to be with Rose, and I don't know. I think there was a different dynamic there that could have been better without this creepy guy. So
two thoughts, Francisco. I think if you
I will give you one thought. So
okay,
I think that what should happen is they get rid of Gus. There's my thoughts.
That's a good thought. Well, here's my rebuttal back to that. What if you replaced Gus with a male version of Tori?
Who's Tori?
From Cobra Kai.
Oh.
Would it be a 1-to-1?
Like Robbie?
I am just beside myself with lividness right now, Patch. If you listen to us, me and Patch, on an original series, the podcast that Patch covers, where we're discussing. He does lots of series, but the one I do with him is Cobra Kai. I do not have any sort of soft spot for Tori. It's the opposite of that, and so he's just trying to irk me something good here with bringing Tori into this. So I'm not even gonna just dignify that
she's written that way. Okay, she's written that way. So you just don't like
dignify this, Patch.
Now,
yeah, you hear that? The buzzer is dinging you off. We're gonna go. We're gonna continue.
No, that was me forgetting to put my phone on silent.
It was good. I was using it as a good segue.
No, wrong.
My second comment is I absolutely agree. I don't think he has any purpose other than to provide a creep factor. Not only because he's terrible to Rose, but because you know how old Swell is.
Yeah.
And because you know that, you have that omniscient perspective, it just makes him that much more cringy.
Is he supposed to be comic relief?
I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
Is he supposed to be one of these like cautionary tales for people to watch out for?
Oh, you know what I think it actually I think I have an answer for it. I think it's, you know how there's people that enjoy like the show Jackass or those movies where people just get punched in their privates, just horrible things happen to them and they think that's funny. Yeah. Maybe this is the white collar version of that, where watching someone act super lewd and gross is funny to some people. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think
watch him escape HR.
Exactly. I think it also provides sympathy for Swellen, and it gives her a little bit of agency to show her strength, because there are 2 or 3 times where she rebuffs his comments, where she says, no, I'm not interested.
It's part of her growth to overcome
that's
that.
Where she has the ability. She's not an immature high school girl in those moments. She recognizes when no means no, and she's ready to throat punch the guy.
So he is an obstacle for the character to overcome. That's what the role he plays.
I guess.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But that was my first dislike. Sorry to go off there for a bit, but let's go to Paul. What's something you disliked?
Well, I had first written down the word swell, like who names a daughter swell? But as the movie went on, they didn't mention it that much, or it wasn't written on a chalkboard. It's not in your face as much, but is in my face. It began to bug me more. It felt like Rose, her boss, she was wearing a wig, because
I think so.
Her hair is so full of volume. Each scene, it felt like it was a wig, and it was like, can't they do something better? Like, it just bothered me each
What's
time.
interesting is, did you know that Keith Coogan was wearing a wig through most of the movie too?
But that looked better. But I'm sorry, Joanna Cassidy, if that's your real hair, I mean, it looked well combed and well groomed,
almost too well groomed,
right? Yeah. And it looked like full of volume, but too much volume, like
a little too Raph.
Yeah, sorry, it bugged me.
That's fair.
She couldn't turn her head left or right. That's what made it. It's like, and the shoulder pads, I think, were helpful.
Oh my gosh, the shoulder pads in this movie, jeez.
Well, that was the style back then. Women.
So that was your dislike, Paul? It was
Rose's wig is what I had written down. Yeah.
Patch, what really wigged you out about this movie?
Just a few things. Sorry, that was a jump there. I think that for me, when it comes to movies that quote don't hold up, some of it has to do with the artifacts that are in there that don't feel nostalgic. And I think the things that make the movie feel like it lives in 1991 and can't get past it, like fax machines, dot matrix printouts.
But this is a period piece, and so you think
it is now? Yeah, it for sure is now.
You think that's a detriment to this movie?
I don't think it distracts necessarily, but it definitely makes it feel old. And there's something about
it is.
But a story like this can be timeless because
it could be. That's why I thought we were reviewing the newer one, but go ahead.
Exactly. Which is why the newer one has a 3.8 on IMDb, because people are like, no, we like 91. That was a good time with Clown Dog and such. But you have things like direct deposit that doesn't exist when she talks about when am I getting paid? Oh, 2 weeks. I got to get to the bank. No, you don't. You can just, it's in your bank account. Things like that are not deal breakers for me, but they definitely make the movie feel old and not in a classic way.
So when you watch Home Alone, you're like, oh, why doesn't he just use the cell phone? Like,
I don't because that's a plot point, right? It's the fact is, and that's what the joke is, where you can't remake Home Alone because if you overlaid the plot onto that onto a 2025 movie, it'd be like, just pick your cell phone up and text your mom.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'd have to come up with something different. Whereas those things aren't necessary for the movie, and I think that's what makes them kind of hurt a little bit. Is I don't like seeing cordless phones or things like that. And again, not a bad thing, but just one of my lower dislikes. I've got two others that kind of hit a little bit higher on the pegs.
Okay.
But like CRT televisions, like where's your plasma?
That entertainment system was like so lame.
Yeah, dude. Like,
there's
a lot.
Even
a
back
lot of
then, there's way
for...
bigger screens than that. It was like 20 inches. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
It was all the stuff holding it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had a list like the towel and the Walkman. Like those two things in particular were like, what is that? I don't even know why I wrote it down, but I was like, that's kind of dumb. But I did write the fashion, especially at the show. I'm thinking, was that popular?
No.
Even in 91?
No.
Like that feels a little bit. That
was overboard.
That was the Met. That was the Met in 1991.
Colors, yes. The styles, not so much.
Yeah.
And Bobo in chat agrees with us. What is this? A TV for ants? Exactly, Bobo. Exactly.
Word.
So yeah, the dated things is what I
absolutely. Ashley, what was it the dated things for you that you just liked or something else?
No, I am going to channel in on some characters and not just one particular character. I am just going to basically say, for me, how unlikable the vast majority of characters were in this movie.
Hey.
So
don't tread on my tragic
characters, but you like the side characters, but you didn't like the side characters. Is that what I'm hearing?
What I'm saying is I liked two characters in this movie, basically. And the thing that I say about unlikable characters, it applies to the main set of characters more so than the supporting characters. Because gosh darn it, to me, everyone is so unlikable.
Yeah.
Swell, the way that she goes about like just plagiarizing a resume book, making some minor tweaks, not correcting anybody, just lying through her teeth, stealing from petty cash, leaving the petty cash out so her siblings can just rob her blindly and somehow put themselves $3,000 into debt, and then falsifying records for this party at the end. Her siblings just spending all this money like it's nothing. The fact that they take a dead body, stuff it into basically like a piece of luggage, leave it at a mortuary. All these characters are just so unlikable. The babysitter, she's unlikable too.
Yep.
And she's horrified by Kenny's.
Are you saying like, because these are the main characters that you're talking about, we kind of root for them, and they're supposed to be like role models, but they're not showing role model values?
Qualities?
Is that?
Yeah, they're showing that you're rooting for a character that has really obscene behavior. It's just their character behavior. They're showing people who lie, people who steal, and ultimately don't really have any kind of remorse until the very last minute when they're more concerned with being caught and basically being like, oh crap, I'm going to be in trouble. But they're not showing any kind of remorse. So it's really hard to root for a character who doesn't want to lose her vacation and doesn't want mom coming back from Australia. So they craft this entire plan and everyone just goes along with it. And these characters are unlikable. Even the receptionist trying to plot against because she knows she's a fraud. And then the David Duchovny character plotting alongside her. Everybody is just unlikable. The only people who I liked were the people who wanted to help people.
Yep.
Kathy was sweet. And Brian just probably thought that Swell was, gosh darn it, she was pretty swell. She was pretty. He liked her as a person, but he was misguided because these characters are so unlikable.
And that'll go pretty much into my, well, not exactly my next dislike, Ashley, but certainly I feel like it was such a leap. Like it took me out of the film that Sue Ellen Swell. I didn't say kick off anything, Paul.
No, but that's the leap.
That's the leap.
Oh
but
my
clearly it left us falling somewhere. So
yes,
continue,
exactly.
Francisco.
No way Sue Ellen is able to do this job. I mean, it's just, and Ashley could probably speak to this more, having actually been an executive administrative assistant, but that she delegates, quote unquote, these QEDs to poor Kathy. And I just cannot imagine that she's able to keep up with all these things that are going on. She says she's a fast learner. I don't.
She could be. They had one scene with her and Kathy, or whatever her name was, that was helping her out when she's having the trouble with the computer. If she said the line, "Hey, in my other positions, we didn't have this software. Can you show me how this works, or can you give me like a little, help me out with this?" That could solve you right there. She could figure it out from there.
Yeah. Okay.
But they didn't do that. They just
No.
they didn't even give us a montage of her going through things to show
Yeah.
her slow,
Oh, that would have
steady
been helpful.
improvement.
Oh,
No,
that would
we're
wait a
just
minute.
supposed to believe. We're just supposed to believe.
They showed her have her trouble with the fax machine, and then they showed her later that, oh, look, she can fax now. So apparently, if you can send a fax, you can be an executive assistant.
No, you can't. No, you can't. It is not something that
according to this documentary,
a recent
you can.
high school graduate with no discernible skills outside of wanting to be a bump on a log and just wants a carefree summer vacation, but doesn't want mom to come home. It's like, gee, you're gonna have to step up, and you're not gonna get that vacation that you wanted. So what are you doing? It's a hard job. Being an executive assistant, an EA, an administrative assistant, those are hard jobs. Yes, you can learn how to do it with today's resources, but back in the day, you learned by doing. And I refuse to believe that she, quote unquote, learned her job within that 2-week period. That's a bunch of bollocks, because that first month that I got onboarded, oh gosh, it's challenging work.
Yeah.
Was it 2 weeks? Was it 2 weeks? What's the time frame for?
Because she didn't get paid till 2 weeks.
Yeah,
later.
she didn't get paid
So
till
the
2
whole
weeks.
so the back half of the movie takes place over a 2-week period, correct?
I don't think so. I think there's more.
It's a couple more weeks, but just up to the point where it's like,
I
but
mean-
I don't, and she didn't understand how paychecks work. They took all my taxes, this pension fund. How
Well,
did
yeah,
he
she never
spend
had a job.
$3,000?
Yeah.
I would blame Rose. I'm going to blame Rose for all that, because she clearly didn't interview her. She clearly looked at her resume that she was like, "Oh, you're great. Let's go." I mean, there was no accountability to Rose either. So I'm not going to put this on Sue Ellen to pull the wool over Rose's eyes. She's living in her Eminem world, wondering if Gus is going to take her to Santa Barbara for a nice steamy weekend. So I'm going to kind of put a little bit of the responsibility on Rose.
Okay, yes, in terms of where the buck stops, I will give that to you, Patch. I'm just saying it's not believable that Sue Ellen could have done this in the span of time at this level and not have gotten caught a lot sooner. That's where
there's
my
a couple.
my
What's her name? Did a
disbelief
couple reports, but what about all the other reports? We're supposed to believe she was able to pick that up and do those.
Let me solve this with
Movie magic.
three words that are my second dislike, and that is Deus ex machina. And my boy
it's
Francisco
Deus
knows
ex
That's multisyllabic.
Well, that's exact. Yeah, it's just for sure. The transformation of the house. No way that could have been done. The ice sculptures, the pool, the yard. Kenneth being able to learn in 2 weeks how to make all the things that he does. I get that he struggles with Belgium. Well, let me finish.
He's on a rant. Let him finish.
Mom and Brian showing up at the same time, coincidentally. The kids being able to handle the lights and the sound at the fashion show. These are things that we just suspend our disbelief. And I'm willing to throw Sue Ellen's ability to do her job in that bucket. Because if we're okay with Kenny having a massive transformation, which I think I completely agree with, in a 2-week period, the abilities that he has are right on par with what are expected from Sue Ellen at her job, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm going to believe both or none or neither.
Yeah.
At that point.
all I was going to comment on was I think I'm a little fuzzy on it being 2 weeks. I know there's 2 weeks that we sort of see toward after she gets the job to when she gets the check, but I feel like there's time after that
there's
about
a lot
a
more
month
time
or so
after that.
goes by because the whole summer's done. The mom comes back
and she was gone for 2, but she came back a week early.
Yeah, so I think we're dealing with a time span of a couple months. But it's a little wishy-washy as to where it is. I still don't believe...
My point still stands, though. I think that Sue Ellen could have done what she did, especially with the fact that she provides the fashion sense that I think GAW is hungry for. Like, oh my gosh, you're changing things. And there's a naivety, I think, that gets implemented here by Rose and other people, because they're like, wow, you're doing something incredible here. It's not that they're saying, well, we'll just ignore this other stuff. I think they are doing that because of the fact that they're so hyper focused on this thing that will save the company. Like the fact that she's doing this amazing thing, I think they just so happen to be unintentionally ignoring the fact that she can't do her job, her day-to-day stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you got Kathy doing it. That's what I'm saying, is I don't think she's ever becoming competent at an EA. I think what she's done is she's leveraged her way in by showing that she can bring big ideas that would potentially save the company, and those things get fixated upon at the expense of her day-to-day stuff.
And at the expense of the designer in the sweatshop below that she basically took his job.
That dude's fired. He's going to work at Sears or something like that. Like
much.
But that is definitely one of my dislikes, is the Deus Ex Machina, how all this stuff could so magically come together by a bunch of teenagers, including, to your point, the EA position, her ability to do the job.
Yeah. Well, then let's go with Ashley. What's something else you disliked?
This seeming lack of consequences in this movie. How they do all of this criminal behavior, and mom comes home and they're like, we'll just talk about it in the morning. So you don't know what even happens to them. You spent $3,000 in a company's money. You impersonated this. You committed basically fraud.
It's petty cash. It's not traceable, especially in the 90s.
Wow. I don't care.
No direct deposits.
If she's the one with the key, it is traceable to her.
Yeah, because she's the one who's in charge of it. Because I wasn't.
You could say, I don't know. Was it there? Like someone must have broke into it.
No. Just the seeming lack of consequences. The fact that Swell was just like, you're not supposed to spend that money. Nothing got sent back. They kept everything. And then when Rose at the end, she's like, you have such great ideas. And I want you to be my personal, I want you to continue being my assistant. You're amazing. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no.
Hey, good assistants, they're hard to find.
No, they're not. Sadly, they are not. It is a great industry. People are innovative and endearing, and they pioneer stuff. It is not the hardest job in the world, but for a 17-year-old, it absolutely is. But here's the thing. If you're just lying through your teeth, if you're stealing, if you're doing all of these things, I'm sorry. There need to be consequences. It took me out of it.
Just because you're an untrustworthy person doesn't mean you're not a good person.
That's what the world will tell you, but
that's what this movie tells you.
Yeah, that's definitely what this movie tells you.
Let me use this movie as my barometer for morality.
But I'm going to say, what makes a great movie is actually seeing a character grow from their experiences and actually having some integrity and accountability. And the vast majority of these characters, she gives a speech at the end. The only consequence she has is she gets in a fight where their pseudo boyfriend, they break up for a time, but then she even gets back together with him at the end. No consequences. It takes me out. There needs to be something happens. And
if
maybe
there
we
were
can
consequences, she would not be standing amongst those slimy fish kissing a guy she doesn't really know that well.
That's not a consequence.
Oh,
that's
the Grunions?
That's a deliberate choice she is making because she thinks the boy is cute and he's kind and he's giving her attention. And earlier in the movie, she's like, I'm single and I'm stuck here. My friends are in vacationing in Europe and I'm here and I'm single and I'm sad and blah, 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 blah. He was the first person to give her attention as far as we know. But again, there are no consequences in this movie. It takes me out.
She was getting attention from the stoner boys.
And Gus. But no.
That's my baby.
Unwanted attention.
Sorry.
I totally get that, Ashley.
Yeah.
And that leaves Paul. What do you wish you didn't have to pay attention to in this movie before you get to our Tragic Makers?
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
Or Francisco, whoever you are. It's kind of what Patch said is one of his likes is the characters that were like sleazy and jealous and were over the top for fun. For me, it ruins the movie because it's too over the top. So at least for me, I didn't enjoy the over the topness of the the receptionist and Mr. X Files. Oh, by the way, did you? I'm curious, Francisco. Did you recognize who the receptionist is from?
I mean, I looked up that she's one of the moms in Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, she's the mom in Kindergarten Cop.
No, not the mom. She's not
the mom?
No, she's the mom of the kid gets beaten, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger comes down and says, "If you hit, I hit you," or something like that.
Oh, is she?
She's not the mom that's married to the criminal that she was with Dominic. She's not Dominic's mom, no.
Oh, okay.
Because that woman's a blonde.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I misunderstood. Anyway, but I just thought the writing of the characters were a little over. I wish they were a little toned down so you could still get that sense of who these characters are, but without it being over the top.
Very fair. All right. Well, let's get to our tragic makers, guys. The things we disliked most about Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead. Ashley, let's begin with you.
Pivoting back to Patch's dislike about the Deus Ex Machina.
I thought you were going to pivot back to Patch's like.
No, no,
we're everything that down.
Patch liked.
We are far past that. No,
Okay.
but we're going to pivot back to that Deus Ex Machina. I didn't find anything in this movie believable at all. And because I can't suspend my disbelief because there's so many pieces of crap things that are happening in this movie,
it was the 90s. You had to be there.
Well, I want to say this movie came out in 91.
Yes.
I was 5 years old when this movie came out. I didn't see it then. I didn't see it until I was 19. And apparently I didn't remember it because it was so unmemorable. And I wish I could go back to having no memory of this movie because nothing about this movie is believable and it just takes me out of it. I don't believe that a mom would go on vacation to Australia for 2 months, hire a crotchety old lady. I mean, yes, an old elderly babysitter could die, but I don't think kids are going to know enough to rally and drop it off at a mortuary. Yeah. Honestly, if someone dies, you should be calling 911. All of the over-the-topness.
No, because then the mom will come back and it'll ruin their vacation.
It would mean the movie would be over in like 15 minutes, and that would be fine with me.
And kids, trust me, I would be tempted not to call 911.
Yeah, but.
And I'm a relatively compliant child.
But no, the lack of believability in this movie, all the Deus Ex Machinas, it took me out. Nothing felt real. Everything just felt like a farce with all the lying, the lack of consequences. I'm like, this feels like an alternate reality because I don't feel like teenagers and young children would be able to get away with all of this. It's movie magic. Sure. Yes, you're trying to hype it up and make it box office fun for kids in the day to be like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if we get to rent our house over the summer? But then the oldest sibling would have to work. No, none of these things happen. No. Sorry, movie.
Are you sure?
No.
Yeah, and my tragic maker is very related to that, so I'm just going to keep going with the Ashley train here. I felt like, okay, so first off, I don't see how this mom has this property. Well, first off, something's weird. They don't really address why her and the father are divorced, but why are all the kids with her? I mean, this is, I think, a very 90s
He's a
trope.
deadbeat dad.
I don't know, though. I mean, because some of the kids wanted to call dad, but then some of the other kids were like, no, you don't want that. But so I wish I knew a bit more. Like,
it wouldn't help you.
It would help me. It would help me at least put this in a box. But regardless, I thought this mom was so, irresponsible. Just fun. Yeah, let me just go away from you kids for 2 months. I mean, I'm a parent. Ashley's a parent. Patch is a parent. This isn't a call out to you, Paul, or anything, but parents need some time away from their kids. That is fine. Take a week, 2 weeks max. Totally understandable. 2 months? No. Yeah. I'm sorry, but no, you cannot just shirk your responsibility to kids when you have some that are still in elementary school for 2 months.
Not when you have 5 of them.
Yeah, and to a stranger, maybe to a grandma, an aunt, something like that. Not to especially when there's 5 of them. So that I hate so much. And then when she comes back, and clearly Swell and all the kids are in so much better like form and they're doing so well. And she's like, man, no parties. Does this look like a darn party to you? This is like an event. This is not some kids being dumb and drinking. No, this is a very classy thing. I don't know what what's this party? No parties is what I said. Well, you young lady, you're in trouble. I mean, she is like, I just hate this mom. She is so out of touch, not aware of anything. And she's like looking around and like clearly you can see that Swell has such a better relationship with her siblings than the mom ever had. Mm-hmm. So it's just like,
well, this is how these kids. Now you can see why these kids grew up the way they did because the mom was so terrible.
That gives me back to the rest of my trash mirror. I hate these kids. I hate all of them. I hate them through and through. Yeah,
petty
stealing all the money,
buying a diamond for the little hoity-toity girlfriend. It's like, kid, you're 12. Stop.
The tomboy girl. Why can't I say this?
Girl.
The tomboy girl. I feel like it's the least offensive of the young kids. And again, I said I like Kenny's arc, so you need to start him in a bad place to arc him. But I just these kids, I just did not like them. I don't know how you fix that other than like I like that they all came together to fix up the house and get that ready for the event. That was a nice moment.
But it doesn't undo what they did.
It doesn't overcome all the crap of people they were up until that point.
You said crap.
I said it earlier too. Sorry, not sorry.
You'll bleep that out in post, I think. I think he's going to bleep that out in post.
Oh, right? Okay.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'll do. But that was my tragic maker, very similar to Ashley. So that leaves Patch and Paul. Let's hear from Patch first. What is your
because I'm not a parent. Let the parent go first.
No,
Whoa. Oh. Apparently you aren't. Paul with the dad jokes. I think he's got a candidacy for being parent at some point. Okay. So I would say related to what you guys are saying, there's just an overarching irresponsibility and a sense of bad, amoral, I guess would be a good word to describe the tone of this movie. And I think that's by design because there's nothing in this movie that hints at besides Kenny's arc. Everything else is pretty much like no rules, but everything works out in the end. A little bit of Deus Ex Machina. So
I haven't read Lord of the Flies. I know it doesn't end that way.
Exactly. Thanks for that, Francisco.
Spoiler.
So as someone watching this movie and having this kind of perspective, which I'm in agreement with, I think great movies have complex characters who have redemption. That's great. I think there's a great movie that I watch every summer called The Way, Way Back, which is a great commentary on almost a reverse role of kids and adults. And it's a coming of age story.
The Batman movie, Affleck?
No, that's a different one. No, that's The Way Back. So this is The Way, Way Back. This one
has to go even back further.
Yeah, keep going.
Who stars in that? That sounds familiar.
Steve Carell's in it. It's got Allison Janney. I forget the main character's name.
Is he the one where he plays the coach? No, that's the all right,
different movie altogether.
Yeah.
In any case, that movie tells a great story of what a summer would look like if adults stopped adulting and kids had to grow up in summer. It's one of the themes of the movie. It's really good. It's a top-notch 5-star movie for me. I don't compare that directly to this movie, but what you guys were talking about compares to it. And what that does for me is that just causes me in my brain to go, okay, I've watched this enough. And so now I'm asking all these questions like, how much money was left for the kids and how in the world do you get the backyard and the pool to look that good in a short period of time? Because I get that you have 2 months but you're not starting at day one of month one before your mom gets back. There's no way the backyard's going to get that clean. No. I love the transformation, by the way. I think it's fantastic.
They maybe have a week for that. That's it.
If the studio couldn't replicate the amount of labor to get it that way, you would think, hold on, come on.
I didn't see a lot of extra help out there besides the kiddos.
Right.
And so I think I'm just asking all these questions, sometimes for humorous takes, like why is the couch facing away from the entertainment center and not towards it? But even down to the fact that $3,000 is not going to cover every single thing up to that point, including the party. Like even in 1991, $3,000 is not going to get you a diamond ring and an entertainment center and party supplies and all these different things. And so for me, from just kind of a humorous standpoint, I'm thinking this movie is unbelievable.
I think there was initially $3,000 in there. I assume the more was put in after the fact.
Maybe so, but then
yeah,
but
because over several months, over a couple months, you're going to grow that.
I guess so. I guess we have to get that question answered, which is how many paychecks did she actually get? Because when Kenny asks her how much you getting paid, and she goes $38,000 a year, and he's like, "You're gonna drown," and I don't even know if he means like that's a lowball number or if.
No, he means that's too much. She's going to choke on all the responsibility it takes to make that much money.
Okay, yeah, I've never been able to grasp like if he was like laughing at her because she's not making enough.
I could see that confusion. Yeah.
Mathematically, she's getting with taxes not taken out $6,250 for those 2 months. So you're telling me $6,000 gives you groceries, pays a hospital bill, pays for all. Again, the unbelievability of. Fair enough. All this stuff gets thrown out because of the fact that none of it makes sense. And Francisco, to your point, Ashley, to your point, the unbelievability of how these kids are able to do what they do, combined with the fact that they are completely selfish. Like none of them have any kind of moralistic integrity in their bones. And I would even argue that for Kenny too, because Kenny, I think, feels guilty and it causes his transformation. I can appreciate that. But who's to say in 3 months he's going to be a burnout again because of the fact that mom's home and his hair's growing out. Like I think that's his moment there. His Samson moment is like when he becomes the hair grows out, he becomes a burnout again. But you got to keep the haircut short, Kenny. So I think for me, the unbelievability of the whole thing works if you just completely ignore all that stuff. But for an intelligent audience, unless you're just looking for something that's going to be on while you check your Instagram, it's not going to be a good movie that you're going to want to keep watching over and over again, in my opinion.
All right. I didn't realize we were in the final range so soon. But Paul, why don't you give us your tragic maker for Don't Tell Mom, the Babysitter's Dead?
My tragic maker is similar to everybody's, that it hinges on unbelievability. And I'll say this movie builds up to the climax at the party, and it just, towards the end of the party, it goes so over the top that it doesn't make sense with the clown dog guy on a loudspeaker is not on anybody's right mind when you can see there's parked cars and there's like an event there. You're not going to go on the speaker and start messing with that, especially if you're trying to win over the girl.
Right.
And then, the mom, like you said, the mom coming back in the middle of the party. It's not one of these college ragers,
exactly.
One of these high school parties with underage drinking going on. There is an organized event that anybody in their right mind, even if they have jet lag from just traveling from across the world, they're not going to come and break it up. It all spiraled out of things that, even if you're following the progression of the logic of the movie where these irresponsible kids are getting away with everything, it doesn't add up to why this could happen, rather than just someone saying, "Oh, what would be outrageous if this happened?" and and then this happened. And it's like it doesn't follow the logic of the movie, even as much as that doesn't make sense. The overall logic doesn't make sense. It doesn't follow it anyway. So the ending of the party just doesn't make sense to me.
And it kind of fizzles out. I mean, the fact is, there's too much resolution there.
Right.
I'm not one that's necessarily looking for punishment.
Right. But the fact, well, the buyers decide to buy anyway. Don't worry about it. It definitely fizzles, and not in a cheering, "Yay, the company's saved" kind of a way. Like
Sue Ellen even calming her mom down, like, "Hey, we'll talk about it in the morning." And you're supposed to kind of feel like, "Oh, that's funny. You're being the mom because mom was irresponsible and left you home alone for 2 months. Like, she's the actual teenager. Like, she tells her to go to her room." And that just, to me, there's an absurdity. And then there's that's just not, I would, she has lost control of her children at that point, but she did when she left the house at the beginning. So I guess you can kind of assume that, she's not going to have any kind of power. And that's kind of risking the message of the movie being parents don't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kids actually will eventually learn to figure things out. And as a result, they'll get jobs that they didn't earn. They'll have transformations that are unrealistic, and they'll have hair that's now short and get the hot girl of the sister that you apparently are older than, that just all those things will apparently just come together. I'm happy with happy endings. I'm happy with a nice little bow on that. This movie, I think, to a point, maybe unintentionally, throws a knock at parenting. And as a parent, I can watch this years later and go, that's not cool. We don't all have to be the Homer Simpsons and be the goofs of our family. The parents don't have to be, they can actually be cooperative with that. Maybe you have some kind of like, let's sit down and talk. Like, I would love for that to be like one shot of Sue Ellen and her mom sitting on the bench on the front of the porch talking as the camera comes back and she starts explaining, here's what happened. I need to explain everything to you. And mom's listening. And she's like, this is unbelievable, but you don't hear the dialogue at that point. But you're starting to get the sense that, okay, something crazy happened over these last 2 months. I probably need to be more involved with my kid's life.
Yeah.
Having a scene like that, I think, would feel maybe some Gilmore Girl-ish type things. But to me, that would feel more connected as opposed to Sue Ellen jokingly saying, Mom, go to your room. We'll talk about this in the morning.
Yeah.
Let's totally be patronizing and just
that's exactly. Yeah. Great
let's
great
just
word
totally patronize the parent and basically say the kids figured it out. The moral of the story is, parents, you can go on vacation to another continent for 2 months. As long as you have a teenager in your house who could legally work, even if they falsify all of their information, everything is going to work out in the end, because in the end, you don't matter. The kids will parent themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. Look at me. I'm the parent now.
Exactly.
Well, I think that about says it all for entering our trajectories into the firing computer. Alice, do you have a firing solution for us?
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo armed and ready to fire on your mark.
All right. Do we rate Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead a classic? We'd recommend anyone go see this, whether or not they've seen it before. A nostalgic, if you've seen it before, awesome. Yeah, you'll have a good time watching it again. But if you've never seen it before, keep it that way. Go watch maybe Adventures of Babysitting instead. Or do we rate it a tragic? We'd recommend no one watch this. If you've never seen it before, keep it that way. And if you have seen it before, don't sully any good memories or good quotes you have of it with a rewatch. So let's begin with our guests as we like to. Ashley, you had predicted nostalgic. What was your final rating for Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead?
Well, I went in hopeful.
Classic. Okay, wow.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I went in hopeful with the nostalgic, watching the movie and combing it through that little fine-tooth comb and everything just unraveling more and more and more, and not enjoying a great lot of it. Final rating is a tragic. Stay away from this movie. Don't watch it. Especially if you are a parent, it will just infuriate you to no end, because it basically says that you don't matter, that you're irresponsible, and that somehow your teenage child who just lies through their teeth to just completely inconsequential is a better parent than you could ever dream of being. So yeah, let's set this movie on fire, leave it in a fiery dumpster. Don't waste your time. Maybe you should bury it in those landmines with the old copies of E.T.
The Atari
The
E.T.?
Atari
Yeah,
E.T. Yeah, it needs to be buried in the mine, like
oh my gosh,
like that. Because no, tragic.
So you would agree with Baba, who says, "Don't tell Mom this film exists."
Yes. Don't tell Mom this film exists. It's too late
I don't
for me.
think this movie was
Spare
made
yourself.
for parents.
I don't care.
Probably not.
I don't care, but
I honestly was surprised, real quick as an aside, that was an HBO movie. It felt very much like an MTV movie to me, much more than the HBO movie. But regardless, so tragic for you, Ashley.
MTV movie didn't really become making more movies till the late 90s.
Oh,
as much.
My bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
Okay. I like the sound of that I'm not wrong. Patch, you likewise had predicted nostalgic. Where did it end up for you?
Well, I mean, you've heard my thoughts. You know how my heart is. That being said, this is a movie that starts with a really wild, unbelievable, unrealistic premise, and it ends with an unbelievable, unrealistic conclusion.
So it stays true to its form. All right. Good job.
It really does.
Consistent.
Yeah.
And the fact is, gotta love some one-liners. I'm
Yep.
always going to be a fan of seeing things get cleaned up and made nice, like the house and Kenny. And
That Kenny, so striking.
Bruce's wardrobe alone, I think, deserves an Oscar for what David Duchovny does with that slick back hair and the really crazy stuff.
No, thank you.
So for me, I'm going to go nostalgic. If
Okay.
for no other reason, if I'm going to recommend this to somebody, it's going to be, let's contain this. And let me tell you, this is a great capsule example of what the world looks like when parents are not involved in the 90s. Specifically.
So Nickelodeon in the 90s.
MTV, and then I would say MTV in the 90s. But
Oh,
no,
okay. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. That's true.
but I think it's worthy of a discussion to talk about the fact that this is a fairy tale. This is really in and of itself, it's a fairy tale.
Fairy tales have
which means-
morals. This does not.
No, it's an amoral fairy tale is what it is. And
Amoral.
Amoral.
that would work.
Amen
Gotcha.
to that amoralness. Yeah. So I would say for me, it's nostalgic because it's one that I have a fondness for all the things that I mentioned, but I clearly recognize it for what it is from a far from classic in terms of being like no redeeming message when it comes to the things that I would agree with or the things that I would champion.
Gotcha.
Nostalgic cautionary tale.
Yes.
Yes. That's a great way to put it. Thank
There
you.
you go.
So we didn't get any votes from our reflux capacitors. Maybe they haven't seen this in a while or haven't seen this at all.
Automatic tragic.
Paul, why I double dare you to give me your rating.
Well, I predicted nostalgic,
Yes.
and I remember liking it, and my heart wants to say nostalgic because of what Patch mentioned. There's some funny moments, and you can actually reference it if it comes up occasionally. If other people have seen it, it's a fun reference. But my brain wants to say, don't sully this with the rewatch, not because of the moralness to it, like you guys are mentioning, but it's just not as fun, as engaging of a watch for me. I think you would be better off spending your time watching these other movies that you have in your 2C list. I think you'd have your time is better spent watching those other movies that you haven't seen yet. So my brain wants to say tragic based on the definitions that we have, while my heart is saying nostalgic because it's not that bad, and if you enjoyed it before, you probably would enjoy it again.
Okay.
But so I'm right on the line of it's like both, but so I have to pick one, and I'm gonna go with my brain and say tragic. Sorry.
All right.
Welcome to the dark side.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The way you did you say we have cookies?
I do
Actually,
have cookies. I can make them.
the way you described that, Paul, it brought to mind this type of analogy. Tell me if this rings true for you. It's like a treat or dessert you remember loving as a kid, and then maybe your parents didn't make it, or you just didn't eat it for a long time, and as an adult, you're like, oh, I remember that thing. I want to try it again. And you eat it as a grown up, and you're like, ugh, this doesn't taste nearly as good as I remember it. Is it kind of like that?
It's close. It's not that bad.
Okay.
It's not like, oh, this is gross. How could I like it as a kid? I could see like, oh, I could see why I liked it as a kid, but it's not as great as I remember it.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's not that bad, like I said. But there are other desserts I think are worth trying.
Okay.
Instead of having that.
Gotcha. Well, then that leaves me with 2 tragics and 1 nostalgic. And I mean, Patch makes some really excellent points, but not enough good points for me to rate anything anything other than tragic.
It's a Tory from Francis.
That's right. On my face, Tory. Might as well cast Peyton List as the lead in this.
Wait, so do you hate her more
No,
than
no,
Robbie?
I actually
No,
I just
no.
hate the character Tori.
character,
Peyton
not
List
No,
the
is-
but
actress.
no,
easy like
no,
this. Oh.
not Peyton List. But
Oh,
do you hate the character of Tori more than the character of Robbie?
Oh, you're talking about in Cobra Kai?
Yes. I'm sorry. I thought that's what you were talking
No,
about.
I thought you were
with
about to
Tori.
compare Swell with Tori.
No,
so that's
no,
where
no,
my
no,
mind
no,
got
no, because
crisscrossed.
what
Okay.
going. If anyone's heard the Retro Rewind's review of Cobra Kai, you really dug into Robbie as not liking his character. So
Yeah,
now I'm hearing that you don't like
okay.
Tori. So I'm curious.
Here's the issue, I think. And having seen Cobra Kai in all totality,
Yeah.
I think I have a softer spot for Robbie.
Okay.
I've gained a softer spot for Tori, but I still dislike Tori much more.
Okay.
Proportionally,
more,
per
Tori?
capita, I dislike Tori more.
So who do you hate more, Tori or Kreese?
Tori.
Wow. All right, Tori or Silver?
Really, is this what we're doing now? I love
All right.
Silver as a character, but I guess I'd have to go with I hate. I mean, I love what I forget the actor's name. I love how I don't know. I love him as a villain, and
Yeah.
if Tori was just. Well, I won't spoil anything for people that I'll just say I don't like Tori. Let's continue. 3 tragics, 1 nostalgic. We rate Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead. The Retro Rewind podcast rates Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead. A disputed tragic film. We'd recommend no one go see this.
enough of your lip, Missy.
Whether or not you've seen it before. But now it's time to get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
20XX.
Calmsat Online. Awaiting incoming transmissions.
Feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 1991 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Deborah Powers, Geek Devotions, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Ruiz. Oh, you're right here.
Yay.
Woohoo! Kennethan, Fabulous Lomax, That's Our Babo, D. Tungsten, Daryl Hafner, Cool Deluxe, Dustin, He's a Big Deal Warford, Flux, Redeemed Otaku, in addition to 2 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. If you want to help keep us flying and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
Shh. Don't tell Mom this stream's sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
I'll make sure
Hey,
not to
Princess.
do that, Jareth. Or Jared, I should say. Go ahead, Paul. Sorry, I derailed you.
No, that's fine. I was just wondering, or very grateful to all our supporters who can support us financially. Are there ways for people who cannot afford because they haven't dug into their petty cash from their boss to support us, but not financially?
Yes. Well, first off, the Retro Rewind podcast does not condone any embezzlement of your petty cash fund to fund this podcast. We appreciate the heart that you'd want to support us that much, but don't do that. But what you could do instead is, if you enjoyed this episode, and you probably did if you made it this far, why don't you, if you're not driving, tap the share icon in your podcast player and send this episode to a friend saying, I know you like Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, so maybe this will dissuade you of that feeling.
Oh.
Or I know you hate this movie, so why don't you listen to these guys
Hey,
talk
you
about
remember liking it but haven't seen it in a while? Maybe you should spend an hour and a half with these people instead of the movie.
it. Exactly. So that's a great way to support us free of charge.
Cool. And I'll bet they'll thank you for sharing it. And speaking
Yes.
of thanking people, we want to give a big babysitting hug.
Sure,
No.
we'll go with that.
A big old lady babysitter hug to Ashley and
Smells like
Patch.
formaldehyde.
Yeah, for supporting us with their thoughts about Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. And since we like to go alphabetically, we'll start with Ashley. How can people find you online if you want to be found? And
Well, you can find me on the platform formerly known as Twitter. Find me at Ashley Ruiz 1186. I tweet about all things faith and fandom.
Cool. And Patch, how could people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on that people should know about? Like, I don't know, reviews of Tori's TV series.
all of Tori's TV series.
Oh, you're covering Bunked next. Okay, interesting.
Exactly. That's Peyton's TV series.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. My bad.
Tori, the character, is only on one show.
Good point.
So far.
Yeah,
you know what? There is an unlikable Tori in Saved by the Bell for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
true.
Right?
Wait, was that
no,
the
Kelly
triplet?
Kapowski?
Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
Wait.
The jacket was good though. I like the jacket that she was wearing.
I'm pretty sure her name was Tori.
It was Tori.
No, her
yeah.
name was Tori.
Mm-hmm. She was a biker.
Yeah.
That dated AC Slater, right?
No,
For an
her and
episode,
Zach
maybe.
got together.
For an episode. And
Jesse
then-
Spano was with Slater, but I think Tiffany Amber Thiessen and Elizabeth Berkley were off Saved by the Bell for that time.
Yeah, Tori Scott, she's a triplet, right? In real life.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you've ever watched Parent Trap 3 or Parent Trap Hawaiian Vacation, the triplets are in there. She's that, yeah.
Oh, well, alrighty. The
I thought it was
more you
Parent
know.
Trap the College Years. Is it Parent Trap the College Years? Is that...
No, that's Saved by the Bell, the college years.
Oh,
but-
sorry, my bad.
Anyway, where can we find you, Patch?
Well, besides right here, making rational arguments for why this movie's nostalgic.
Wow.
Maybe not. No, it's you can find me on Twitter at Shoeless Patch or X. I'm just going to call it Twitter because it'll eventually go back there. I think that's my prediction. Yes, I also host a TV series review podcast called An Original Series. You can find it around the interwebs. Just do a Google search for it. Look it up on your podcast catcher. Francisco, as he mentioned before, he has been on to cover the first 2 seasons of Cobra Kai. He would be back in the fall to cover season 3 and possibly beyond. We're going to get through this series if it kills us or if it kills Tori, whichever one comes first.
Oh my gosh.
And please tune in and enjoy those conversations. We cover a bunch of different series: Ted Lasso, Cobra Kai. Just got through covering Watchmen with another co-host, and we're going to be covering The Last of Us Part 2 this fall as well. So tune in there.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much, Ashley, Patch, my awesome babysitting friend, Paul, and all you rewinders, new and old, for another fun voyage. We also want to thank Alutrick for enhancing our music. Find him at alutrick.bandcamp.com or youtube.com/@alutrick. That's spelled ALLOOUTRICK, then the number 8266 for the YouTube. So thank you so much to him.
And speaking of websites, I am pauljpowers.com. You can find what I've been up to lately at pauljpowers.com.
Oh, .com. Okay. And you can find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Find us there at retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord.
Wrong one.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
Because we rated this movie a tragic, we have a new babysitter, and as the new babysitter just said, we are now part of Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media.
Thank you, EXO, and thank you for listening. Thank you, EXO, and thank you for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for, I don't know, there's some poets, they're dead in a society, I guess. Our next adventure on the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to base to await next mission.
here! Right now!
I'll do it later, Mom! I promise! Bye, Mom! Have a blast! Rock and roll!
Plays a stoner a bit too well.
Yeah.
But he played a cleaned up guy too well, too.
Right? Indeed. All right. Well, thank you, Aslam Janum, for the follow. Appreciate that. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. And yeah, thank you, everyone. Bobo, Paul. Let's see. I think Daryl was here before. B. Greer. Thank you all for hanging out, guys. Hopefully you had fun. We're going to, I don't think we really have a spiritual speculation, so we might do something else, or we might not do anything at all. We'll see.
You lack discipline.
Wow. But we are going to end the stream. Hopefully you all have a blessed evening, and we will be back tomorrow night. I will probably play Echo the Dolphin. So, yay.
I like how the video is stuck on me.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Okay, has it been? No, now it's on us.
Oh, now it is.
Fancy.
I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, thank you all so much, and until next
You are
time.
mine now. You belong to me.
See, now it's back on me, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Until next time, here is your stream face.